Hi Sandhya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. And what about you, sir?
I'm also good, thank you. So Sandhya, you have applied for a front-end developer role. So can we just start with your quick introduction?
Sure, sir. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. I am Sandhya Kishan. I am from Nanded, and I have completed Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Stream from SRTM University, Nanded. And my skill sets are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular.
Okay. And Sandhya, can you just tell me how much experience do you have, total experience?
I have total experience of 2 years, and from last 6 months, I am working as an Angular developer.
Okay, means you have 6 months of Angular experience and total experience is 2 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so can you just explain me about your projects? Means uh, what is the domain of your project and workflow of your project?
Actually, sir, I work on a project that is international school services, and in that project, students search for jobs, and in that project, I create reactive forms.
Okay. Only reactive forms you created, nothing than that. Okay. Okay, so do you serving your notice period? Are you serving?
Yes, sir.
And how much means your notice period?
1 month of notice
Duration.
period.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with your technicals. Okay. So what are the new features that are introduced in HTML5?
In HTML5 for multimedia, there is audio and video tab, and some semantic elements are introduced like header, footer, nav, section.
Okay.
Drag and drop effects also is added in HTML5.
Okay.
That's
Okay. So what is the difference between div and a section?
div is for like container for contents. Section is for dividing the sections.
What is the full
Create
form of div tag? Full
full form.
abbreviation. Yes, div tag.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. What is an attribute?
Attribute gives some additional information about HTML element, and some of the attributes are source, title, target, HRU.
Okay. What is the difference between pseudo elements and pseudo classes?
Pseudo classes are used to define a particular state of element, and pseudo classes are like over focus active, and pseudo elements are used to define any state of elements like after, before.
Okay. And what is the difference between inline element and a block level element?
Inline element are always start on same line, and block level elements are always start on new line. We cannot apply width to inline element, and we can apply width to block level element. We cannot apply top to bottom margin to inline elements, and we can apply margin in all four directions to block elements. And width of inline element is always equal to its content, and width of block elements are always equal to its parent width. And examples of inline elements are anchor tag, image, and examples of block level element are table, UL, OL, form.
Okay. What is float?
Float is a CSS property, and it is used to aligning the items either left or right side of its container.
Okay. Do you know any frameworks of CSS?
Yes, Bootstrap, and I use only Bootstrap, but other frameworks are Tailwind, V3, and Foundation.
Okay. So, which one is the latest version of Bootstrap?
Latest version of Bootstrap is 5.
What are the new
Fifth version.
features that came in Bootstrap 5?
In Bootstrap 5, 6 grid systems, and before in Bootstrap 4 there are only 5 grid system classes, and in Bootstrap 5 6 grid system classes, and in Bootstrap 5 it has its own SVG icons. And, in Bootstrap 5 it uses vanilla JS for better performance.
Okay. What is mean by grid system in Bootstrap 4?
Grid system. Sorry, sir, I didn't remember.
Okay. What is Flexbox in Bootstrap?
Flexbox is used to align the content or element horizontally or vertically.
Okay. What is Sass?
Sass is a preprocessor of CSS, and Sass stands for Syntactically Awesome Style Sheet.
What are the new features that are introduced in Sass?
Variables, mixins, functions, and nesting.
Okay, so these are the key features. Okay. What is mean by mixin?
Mixin is a block of code, and it is used for reusability. Its purpose is reusability.
Okay. And how we should use variable?
We should use variables.
Yes. In Sass, how we will use variables?
So, using $sign, we define variables. And
Okay. How do we import another Sass file into means specific Sass file? Yes.
another Sass file, sir.
This means any specific Sass file we want to import in some another file. So how can we import?
Sorry, sir. Right now, I didn't remember.
Okay. What is the use of @include decorator in SAS?
Uh, when we have to use mixins, we use @include. So if you create mixin, then we have to use for a specific use. Then we use @include.
Okay. Okay. So what is hoisting in JavaScript?
Twisting is the default behavior of variables and that is shifted to the top of the scope. And in hoisted area, its value, all the variables value is undefined.
Means I did not understand.
What's that?
I did not get it.
In hoisting, all the declarations move to the top of the scope, and in hoisted area, uh, variables are undefined.
Okay. And what is the difference between let, var, and const?
Let var and const. Let creates block scope, and var creates functional scope. And using var, we can redeclare and reassign the variables. And using let keyword, we can reassign but cannot redeclare the variable. And in const, we cannot reassign and we cannot redeclare the variable. And in using var, hoisting is possible and its value is undefined. And in let and const, hoisting is possible, but it throws an error that cannot access before initialization.
Okay. Okay. So what is the use of map method?
Map method.
Yes.
Then we have to apply same functionality on each element array. Then we use map method and it
Okay.
returns a new array.
Okay. And what is the use of closure?
Closure is use of closure, sir.
Yes.
Then we have to access the variables from parent scope. Then we use closure and
No. What is closure?
closure. When we return a child function inside a parent function, it creates lexical scope. And when we call the parent function, it returns the child function definition. And when we call that child function, it brings out all the data from its parent scope. That is called closure.
Can you explain me with an example?
Can I share the screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you explain me what? Can you explain me what you have done?
Yes, sir. Here I write outer function, and in that declare x variable with the value 10. And inside outer function, I return inner function. And in that means when we call this outer function, it returns this child function. And when we call that child function, it access the variables which is declared in the outer function. And here return value of x.
Okay. Do you know what is the use of promise?
So, yes, sir. Promise it is used to handle asynchronous operations.
But when should we use it?
By default, behavior of JavaScript is synchronous, and uh, for that we use callback functions. But in callback functions, there is a problem of nested callbacks occur, that is callback here. And to overcome that, we use promise.
Okay. And what is the use of promise.all? You can stop your screen.
Promise.all. When we have to yes, perform multiple promises, means when we have to execute multiple promises at the same time, then we use promise.all method.
What happens if some of the API fails in promise.all?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
If some of the API fails in API call, what happens?
I didn't get the question.
If you are using promise.all, okay, if some of the API fails, if one of the API fails in promise.all, so what will happen?
Uh, if any one promise is failed,
Yes.
then means it will resolve the means. Just give me 1 minute, sir. I will explain.
Yes, yes.
Yes, whatever promises are resolved, that will executed.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can read after the interview. Okay. So, what is Angular?
Angular is a JavaScript framework, and it is maintained by Google. And Angular is built on top of TypeScript, and it is used to create single page application. And Angular is a component based framework.
And what is TypeScript?
TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, and it comes with additional features like type inference, classes, and interface.
What is the difference between enum and interface?
Enum is used for collection of constant variables. And interface means when we have to define the structure of means data type of object, like then we use interface means.
Okay. How can we use other components, properties, and functions in some another component? If we have to use all the properties and methods of that component in different components, so should we create a separate component and we can use in all that?
No, sir, we cannot create it twice, but
How can we achieve interface in sorry inheritance in Angular application?
inheritance in Angular application.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about.
Okay. What is component?
Component. Component is basically a TypeScript class, and it is decorated with @component decorator, and some of the properties are of component are selector, template URL, and style URLs.
Okay. What is module?
Module is like group of components. When our application is larger, then we distinguish it into different modules.
Okay. Okay. So, do you know any life cycle hooks in Angular?
Yes, sir. I have a little bit information about
Yeah, you can tell.
life cycle hook in Angular are the methods that called on means that is that means that is a process of like components initialization and deployment. In Angular, there are 8 life cycle hooks. ng on changes that first ng on changes life cycle hook gets called first. After ng on changes, ng on init method get called. Then ng to check, then ng after content init, then ng after content check, ng after view init, and ng after view check, and at the last ng on destroy method called.
What is the use of ng on changes? When it will be get called?
ng on changes when any one of the means when any data bound property changes, then ng on changes method gets called.
Okay. Any? Can you repeat one more time?
When there is data bound property changes, then ng on changes method gets called.
Data bound means?
It's like input and like input properties means.
Okay. Okay, can we get a previous value in join changes?
I'm not sure, sir, but I think no.
Okay. What is the difference between input output decorator?
When we have to send data from parent to child, we use input decorator, and when we have to send data from child to parent, then we use output decorator. And to use input decorator, we create custom property, and to use output decorator, we must have to create a custom event, and to trigger that custom event, we must have to actual event.
Okay. What is mean by two-way data binding?
Data binding means data flows from both directions, from template to TypeScript and TypeScript to template. And we use
Mm,
ng model for two-way data binding.
okay. Which module we use for calling API or sending response through API in Angular?
The HTTP client module.
Okay. And from which it will be imported? Which package?
HTTP HTTP slash HTTP and common, like means we import from Angular slash HTTP slash common we use.
Okay. I have sent you one API link. So you have to create a table in Angular application and you have to call that API.
I will Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Sandhya. We are done with your interview. So, do you have any questions for me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
Thank you, Sandhya.
Thank you.